Hello everybody, Ryan Grant here, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are going to be uncovering 5 ways you can enhance your mind-muscle connection in the gym. And if you don't necessarily know what mind-muscle connection is or how it contributes to muscle growth, it is extremely important. It basically just refers to when you're doing an exercise and your mind is, really focused on the specific muscle that is working. And this is super important if you want to obviously make your sessions as efficient as possible, because when you've got a better mind muscle connection, the better mind muscle connection you have, the more muscle fibers you are going to recruit inside the muscle that you're going to be working. Therefore, you can fatigue your muscle more, you can train harder, you can take it to failure a lot easier, and it's overall going to just help you have a better session and obviously help the process of muscular hypertrophy, which is, muscle growth, right? So this is actually the second time I'm filming this video, because unfortunately the other day when I filmed this, it was such a good take. I didn't have any gaps or any pauses, but the camera quality was awful, right? And I'm really hoping it's not the same with this. But anyways, enough of the yapping. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. So the first way I would highly suggest for you guys to obviously increase your mind muscle connection is to start light and go slow and controlled with your movements. And this is because, think about it, when you're going stupidly heavy, for example, picture in your head you trying to do bicep curls with the full stack at your gym, and you may be doing bicep curls with the full stack at your gym because the full stack may be light, but at the majority of gyms, trying to bicep curl a full stack is absolutely unheard of. It's ridiculously heavy, and what this is just going to simply result in is you using momentum and you swinging doolally, swinging like crazy, trying to get the rep up. And what actually happens here is because you're not controlling the movement, and because you're swinging everywhere, you're going to be using momentum in order to perform the reps, and not the bicep, which is meant to be the muscle working during bicep curls, right? And what this leads to is, obviously there's going to be barely any isolation on the muscle, and if there's barely any isolation on the muscle and there's very little time under tension, then how on earth do you think that you're going to establish a mind muscle connection, right? So what you guys need to do is, if you're swinging about and if you don't necessarily feel your muscle, and for example, if you're doing bicep curls and you're not keeping your elbow as still as possible, which is what you need to be doing, and that is absolutely crucial towards bicep curls. Sorry, I couldn't get my words out. If you find your form's not great and all of that good stuff, like I just said, then what I would highly suggest for you is to drop the weight, go a bit lighter. It may hurt your ego, but in the long term you're going to have bigger muscles, right? So it's a little trade-off, but it's a trade-off that's highly worth taking, right? So the first thing is start light and slow. And if you're going slow and obviously light, you're going to have more control of the weight and the resistance that you're acting against. Therefore, you're going to be able to increase time under tension with the exercise. And if you don't necessarily know what time under tension is, it basically just refers to, the time your muscle is under tension for. And if you increase this, and if you're going slow, controlled, and all of this good stuff, then you're going to be able to fatigue your muscle easier, you're going to be able to get the blood in the muscle better, and this is going to overall lead to an increased mind muscle connection. So that is the first tip out of 5 that I would give you guys. Go light, go slow, make sure your form's perfect, make sure you're controlling the weight properly, and that is going to help you establish a mind muscle connection with whatever exercise and whatever muscle you're training. All right, so on to number 2. So stop switching exercises and stop switching workout programs every single week. And you may be thinking, but I see the next best thing and I want to try that, and then the next best thing, and then the next best thing. Don't get me wrong, all right? I'm not saying that you have to stick to one. Yeah, I'm not saying that at the start of your gym journey you have to lock in one program for the rest of your life and one set of exercises for one muscle group for the rest of your life. I'm not saying that. But what happens nowadays, what a really common occurrence is, because we're in the social media era, there's so much information out there nowadays about how to grow muscle, whether it's from, bro science or actual science based, information, people saying what's worked for them. There's so much out there nowadays. I say, I'm giving information, someone else is giving information that might contradict each other, right? And there's so much information, it can lead to overstimulation and you can overthink. And another thing as well is that when the new best thing is out, everyone just acts as a sheep and just runs towards the new best thing. However, what you don't realise is that you're actually at fault yourself by switching all the time. And this is because you're not giving your muscles enough time to, first of all, allow for any progressive overload to happen, not allowing your muscle to, you're not giving your muscle enough time to gain chemistry with that exercise. You're not going to give yourself enough time to be able to progressively overload on that exercise. And you're ultimately not going to give yourself enough time to perfect the form and the technique on the exercise. And as I just said before, form and technique is extremely important for mind muscle connection. And obviously, it's about experience, right? The more experience you have at something, the better you're probably going to be. And if you don't give yourself experience in performing these exercises, for example, if I wanted to perform barbell rows one week and then, I figured like I don't really like it because I can't really feel my muscle. No shit, mate. That's because you've only been doing it for a week. You've got to get in the repetitions. You've got to get in the experience and the practice. And, the more you do it, the better you're going to get. And if you're switching exercises and programs every week, then you're not going to allow yourself to build this experience and get the feel and know what the feeling is like in order to perform the exercise right and in order to feel the muscle properly. So by you switching exercises and workout programs every week, you are stopping yourself from establishing mind muscle connections with anything, right? And I really like to think about it in with two different, there's two different ways I like to think about it that I'd highly suggest you think about it like this. So the first way is like a relationship, right? So, you've had enough of, flings, just going to the club and all that good stuff, all the quick stuff, and you actually want to settle down with a beautiful girl, right? And you just want to live a chill life, and just meet your lifelong partner, right? If you're trying to, in this situation, it's exactly like trying to go to a different girl every week and then you wonder why you're not getting anywhere, right? If you're switching exercises every week and you're not establishing a mind muscle connection, then you've answered your own question because you're switching exercises every week. And it's like trying to learn a new skill every week and then you wonder why you don't master it, right? For example, this week I might want to learn Spanish and become fluent in Spanish. And then the next week I might want to become a professional rugby player. And then the next week I might want to become a pianist, right? Playing the piano, right? And, you wonder why you're not going to get good at them because you're not giving yourself enough time to actually get good at them, right? So that's number two if you want to build up a good mind muscle connection with exercise. So I'll give you guys a really quick example before we move on. So for example, I absolutely love to do barbell rows for my back and I've been doing them for a very long time, and it also took me quite a long time to establish a proper mind muscle connection with them and properly perform the exercise right and how I like to do things with barbell rows, right? And if I didn't give myself that time, then no wonder I wouldn't have developed a mind muscle connection and no wonder I wouldn't have liked the exercise. You've just got to give yourself time, and by you switching exercises all the time, you're just basically shooting yourself in the foot, right? So that is the second tip I would give you guys to establish good mind muscle connections with exercises. Just stop switching all the time. Well, obviously you can switch. For example, I've been on my current program right now for a good like 6-7 months, and I'm thinking of switching now, but that's perfectly fine because I've been on my program for 6-7 months, not 2 days, right? So yeah, that's number two. Now on to number three. So warm up properly before you train. And warming up is something that sits with me quite deeply and that I feel quite strong about advocating for this sort of stuff, because not only does it prevent injuries, I've been a victim to many injuries in my time. I've broken both of my legs before I was 16 years old, and this is a consequence of me not warming up. It's as simple as that. But not only does it prevent injury, it also helps you boost your performance in your gym sessions. And this is because when you're warming up, what you actually do is you increase the size of the blood vessels around the muscle that you're going to be targeting. For example, if you're doing legs and you're doing your quad stretches and you're on the treadmill and you're doing some bodyweight lunges, what you're doing there is you're allowing more blood to get in the muscle because, it's obviously working, and you're telling your body that you need blood in that muscle. Therefore, the blood vessels around it are going to obviously get wider so they can allow more blood to get in there. Therefore, you're going to have more blood in your muscles. So when it actually comes to you doing your exercise, you're sort of already going to have a little pump, right? And then when you get on the exercise, your mind is going to be straight there because it knows that, the blood is rushing to that muscle. Therefore, there's going to be some neurological connection there. I'm not too sure with, the full science of it, right? But that will help with your mind muscle connection. So what I would highly suggest for you is to just spend 5, 10, 15, even 20 minutes sometimes warming up before your sessions. I know it can be a little bit annoying, but first of all, would you rather spend 10 to 15 minutes warming up before each session, or be injured for a couple of months? And, would you rather sacrifice warming up for a good session? I'm sure you would, right? So that's tip number 3 that I'll give you guys. Make sure you're warming up properly, not just because it prevents injury, but it also increases performance as well, because you're going to just get the blood in the muscle as quick as possible, and that is going to enable a connection with your mind and the muscle that the blood has rushed into. So now on to tip number 4, visualization. And you may not necessarily think about how important visualization is or how much of a difference it can make, but genuinely it really does make a difference. And what it mainly does is what I like to call gives you a mind muscle connection before you even get to the gym. For example, as I'm filming this right now, it's Monday, and I got back from a chest session a couple of hours ago, early morning chest session, cheeky, and it was a very, very good session. And one reason why this was a really good session was because I was able to visualize it beforehand, right? And you may be calling me a sad fuck, but I love this stuff, right? So I knew exactly what I was doing before I went into the gym. I knew exactly what exercises I was doing. I knew, the weights I was going to be using. I knew everything about my session. And what this enables you to do is just create that mental picture in your head of you, walking around the gym, going to machine after machine, even doing your sets. And what this just basically, helps you do is obviously get in the zone, and obviously the mental imagery is just going to help you with your mind muscle connection when you actually get to the gym. And 6-time Mr. Olympia champion Dorian Yates, in my eyes, the greatest bodybuilder of all time, or my favourite bodybuilder of all time, very subjective. And if you don't know what the Olympia is, it's basically the most prestige bodybuilding competition in the world. He always said he was in the muscle. He visualized every single contraction, every single stretch of the muscle, and every single exercise. And I'm telling you now, this will help so much with your mind muscle connection. So what I would highly suggest for you guys is to, before you go into your session, maybe the night before, right, which is what I like to do, plan out your session, know exactly what you're doing so you can start picturing it in your head. If you're going for a weight that you've never gone for before, visualize you doing that. Get past that mental barrier and that mental block, and then when you get in into the session, you are going to have an amazing mind muscle connection, and you are going to absolutely kill it, my friend. Okay, so that is tip number 4 that I'll give you guys: visualization and knowing what you're doing before. Now, moving on to the final tip of this video. So using your gym partners, and if you don't necessarily have a gym partner, then you can, ask someone else in the gym. But if you don't necessarily want to do that, then don't worry too much. This is just an extra one that I really like to do. So for example, what you would do in this situation is, if you're struggling to feel your muscle during the working set or a warm-up set, what you would do is you'd ask your gym partner to very, very lightly place 1 or 2 fingers of his onto the muscle that's working, so you can feel the stretch and you can feel the contraction. For example, the other week I was struggling to feel my mind muscle connection with my chest when I was doing pec deck. Sorry, my bad. Whilst I was warming up with the pec deck, I asked him to place, 1 finger each on 1 finger on each pec. Therefore, when I was doing the reps, I could feel my chest stretching and contracting at the top. And this really, really helps with your mind muscle connection, because your mind can literally not wander anywhere else but that muscle, because your mate is just, got your fingers on it. Therefore, you can feel it a lot more. So 2 things that you can use your gym partner to do. First of all, you can ask your gym partner to lightly tap on the muscle. So for example, when I was doing pec deck, my gym partner was doing both of these, but in order to lightly tap the muscle, what you would do is just tap the muscle like that for literally 10 seconds, and then the mind muscle connection should be there. Or another thing you could do is just ask your gym partner to just, put fingers there for a couple of reps and not move them. And honestly, this really helps with your mind muscle connection. It puts your brain in focus mode, and you are going to be inside the muscle, my friend. So that is it for this video. 5 tips in order to increase mind muscle connection. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have actually made it this far, if you accept my invite, I would love to have you in my very own free community that I have called the Slim to Sculpt Alliance, and what we do is we have a mission of helping as many skinny guys as possible bulk and gain muscle in the most efficient way as possible. And now by the time this video comes out, it will be, you know, nearer towards the new year. So if you're watching this and you're wanting to get in some good shape in 2025 and actually take the gym seriously, then we've got a free workout program for you. We've got a current December event going on right now. So if you see this video just when it comes out, then you may make it just in time. And we've obviously got a community of like-minded guys on the exact same journey as you. So if you want my help beyond these YouTube videos, then it'll be the top link in the description. But for now, without further ado, if you guys have enjoyed this video, then I'd really appreciate it if you guys could drop a like, a comment, any constructive feedback, constructive criticism, any way I can make these YouTube videos better for my channel and you guys going forward. And most importantly, there's a big fat red button down below. I would love it if you guys could click it. It would genuinely mean a lot to me. And we are getting pretty close to 300 subscribers. So hopefully if we could crack that by the end of the year, then that'll be absolutely amazing. So without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video.